Welcome to Uniting the Cults, another episode of Why is Everybody Stupid? How do Muslims, ex-Muslims, deal with the meaning of life question? And there's a precursor question that I want to explain to people. So here's the post I'll be talking about, but really this came from something else right here. Somebody asked, how to overcome depression after leaving Islam in the first few days. So I just left Islam a few days ago, and I would like to hear some of your advice about the depression you get after leaving and the meaning of life specifically. So this person is depressed and they think it's connected to this. Let's see. I'm going to read everybody else's replies first. Why would you feel depressed after leaving a cult that ate you alive every second of the day? You should be celebrating. That means this person kind of doesn't have an issue with the meaning of life. I kind of just stopped thinking about the meaning of life. I'm just enjoying the ride and trying to have as much fun as possible. So this person was thinking about the meaning of life. So for me, I never thought about that or like purpose of life or anything. And when I became an ex-Muslim, also not. I just love things in life in general. Stuff is fun. Like when I was going through university, I loved all the physics and chemistry and biology I was studying. At no point did I think, what's the meaning of life? Should I study physics? Nothing like that. Many of us have been there. Sorry to hear about what you're going through. Firstly, it's different for each person, but it's absolutely normal to feel that way. After all, you have been lied to your entire life, so it's reasonable to feel lost and insecure. It happened to me and many others. Secondly, if you have been through a strict indoctrination process as a child, remember that is the time of your life you were more sensitive physically and psychologically. You also had no critical thinking skills yet. It might take some time to revert that process. For example, it took me a long time to get over the feeling of going to hell, even though there is plenty of evidence Islam is a man-made religion. This irrational fear can only be explained as reliving trauma. I, nearly 31, and still remember perfectly how I was told that I would suffer in hell when I was barely 9. My advice is to be aware of all these elements and slowly rebuild your life. With time, you will see that life has so much to offer, so much more to offer than religion. Disclaimer, I'm not qualified to give therapeutic advice. I'm just exposing my personal experience. Therefore, consider getting help if necessary. They mean trained therapist help. Get busy living or get busy dying. That's from Shawshank Redemption, a very, very beautiful movie. Everyone has to watch it. Has to, or there's no meaning of your life. So I say the meaning of your life was to, and I mean in the past, well, while you were Muslim, the meaning of your life was to pump out Muslim babies. Now that you're an ex-Muslim, now you must choose a new meaning of your life, or your life, whatever. Somebody says, maybe start by doing all the things Islam prohibited. Eat bacon, drink a cocktail, pet a dog, listen to music, date a kafir. Now that you've removed the blindfold, try living a little. You may discover that life is much brighter without silly rules and beliefs. So they're kind of saying the meaning of life is enjoy it. Enjoy things. These all sound like okay things. I've enjoyed bacon. I've enjoyed a cocktail. I have a cat right now. I had a dog before. My daughter has a cat, but whatever, it lives with me. I listen to music. I date. Were they a kafir? I don't know. What is I forget what kafir is. Somebody who doesn't believe in Islam or somebody who left Islam? I don't fucking remember. I don't remember stupid shit like that. Same. Had a depression when I left Islam because I was stupid enough for not leaving earlier. Plus, my mom would be disappointed, and she is really religious person. All she does is talk about Allah. Now I became pantheist, and it makes more sense to me. I still have spirituality. Pantheist, if I understand correctly, means saying that each one of us has God in us. And this person, which is the OP, says, you mean by pantheism that us plus universe equals God? And they replied, yes, we all are God and or entity, like I like to call it. Everyone is a piece of the bigger picture, not only humans, but stars, black holes. Everything is synchronized perfectly as one thing. Einstein and a lot of scientists are pantheists. Of course, it's just a philosophical theory. I don't think Einstein was a pantheist, but whatever. It doesn't mean much. What the hell does it mean to say God is in every one of us? That means it's not a God. Because the word God was to explain that, God created the universe. So if we're saying God created the universe, and then that means, so God created himself, doesn't make any damn sense. Anyway, then now back to the newer post. So I say, how do Muslims deal with the meaning of life question? Ex-Muslims, sorry. We understand that we were born for the purpose of pumping out Muslim babies. But first, let's separate out the Muslim part. Genetic evolution gave us the urge to pump out babies. Islam then gave us the urge to indoctrinate those babies into Islam. So 2 levels of things happening that we didn't ask for. Now that we are ex-Muslims, we must choose, and I mean individually, each one of us on our own, a new meaning for our lives. Which brings me to another question that people have asked in this sub before. Why do we not kill ourselves? I'm mentioning this because people actually do get to that point. The part of what they're asking when they're saying, hey, well, help me with meaning of life, is because if they don't have one, they don't want to be here anymore. So for many of us, the reason we don't kill ourselves is, 1, we enjoy our lives independent of our loved ones. And 2, our absence would mean that our loved ones suffer a lot and we don't want them to suffer. So this is kind of like saying the meaning of our lives is enjoy our lives and enjoy the people we love. That's it. It's that simple. An atheist God says, I just don't care about the meaning. Maybe there is one or there isn't, but I couldn't care any less about it. So I reply, the meaning of your life is what you choose for it to be, your purpose, what you're doing until you die, besides sleeping, eating, and shitting. Although the eating part can be so fun, especially when you combine it with cooking. Somebody says, what about on the deathbed? I don't know. Haven't been there yet. So I replied to the deathbed question. What's the problem with that? You're not being clear. No one knows what you're asking. Or are you asking something like, should we not worry about what happens when we die? Answer, no, we just turn to dirt. There's no afterlife. All of that is a lie. Somebody have a deleted comment. I think it was something from a book. And I replied, it's like saying the meaning of life is whatever we want to make it. And obviously we should want to make it something awesome, enjoyable. This person says, we choose our own meaning of life instead of following the one assigned to us by an illiterate goat herder. I said, also, we choose our own meaning of life instead of following the one assigned to us by genetic evolution to make babies that make babies. That's what genetic evolution is about. Islam gave us bad reasons to do the right things while good reasons were available. Which are the right things? Nobody replied. This person says, I mean, I've never been asked about the meaning of life before as an ex-Muslim, but if someone were to ask me about it, my answer would just be that the meaning of life is what you make of it. I don't think there's really an objective meaning to life. It's all subjective, and we have to find it ourselves. For me, I find self-improvement and fulfilling my potential as my meaning of life. I also find meaning in life through philosophy. I can't say I adhere to a philosophical school or idea, but I'm quite influenced by Stoicism and existentialism, I'd say. I've been introduced to Stoicism a little bit. It goes back to ancient Rome or older. Ancient Rome, am I saying that right? It's pretty good. I don't really know what existentialism is. I've seen the term used before. Somebody quoted me saying, why do we not kill ourselves? And they replied, sometimes I feel this is asked in bad faith. I'm sorry if you're depressed and do feel that way. Life ends and doesn't have meaning inherently, like other people said. You give it your own meaning because you have the freedom to do so. For me, asking a question like this is like saying, why go on vacation at all if it eventually ends? Yes, you'll keep your memories about it, but at one point you don't remember the vacation or the experience. Does that make the vacation meaningless? I'm sure you'll say, no, it was still a positive experience that I enjoyed. Well, same can be applied to life. You'll eventually die, but all the experiences you've gone through never really went away, regardless of whether they left a legacy or not. Life being fleeting and ending at one point is what gives it meaning because it makes it precious. You have a limited time in this life, so might as well live a fulfilling one. Do the things you want to do in life. Be a positive influence to those around you and just enjoy life to its fullest because it's the only one you've got. It ending also means there's no reason to worry about the mistakes you've done, the dumb things you've done, because after all, at one point it'll all be forgotten. Uh, So I replied to the part where they said, sometimes I feel this is asked in bad faith. And I say, yeah, people do ask in bad faith. But even in those cases, there's some truth in there. They're projecting their own feelings onto the other person. Let's see. Why do you need the meaning of life? I didn't see any cats, dogs, cows asking for it. As an upgraded animal, human, why are you so concerned about it? So I say, I'm concerned about it because people are suffering and I want to help them stop suffering. Then study medicine or robotics, either of them will solve it. So I say, I don't know what you mean. And to clarify, people are suffering because of a mental problem, like bad ideas. Medicine or robotics won't help with that. Philosophy does, which is what I'm doing. I'd rather stay skeptical and contemplative about the unanswered questions on life than secure myself in the surety promised by religious myth by mistaking it for the truth. All their false gods are extraordinarily mute compared to their egos and utterly dependent on human middlemen to communicate with us about their version on the story of life. How convenient. So I say, I didn't mention religion anywhere in this post, but I did a similar post where I do mention religion. I might click on this. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep going though. Bro, I am high on life, the good and the bad. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I converted to Christianity and found lots of meaning there. I'm really happy now. Ultimately, all meaning is arbitrary. If you ask why we do things, you'll eventually arrive to it feels good to do so, or to avoid feeling bad, i.e., chemical impulses. And why do these impulses have meaning? Because we decided they do. That's all the justification you need. It doesn't need to be anything special. So meaning is what I decide to be meaningful on whatever justification. It's all equally valid. Specifically, I live for my hobbies, to explore the world on what I'm interested in, to be remembered for the good things I do for people, because it feels good enough to justify living and dying for. And if I die, I die. All stories come to an end. None in human history found a reasonable meaning of life. Live it and have fun and don't harm people. What are you talking about? And who says there's one? Like, people keep saying like the meaning of life as if there's only one. I wasn't saying that. They're getting mixed up by some shit other people said. Everyone is worried about the answers to their stupid life questions, but my question is, so what? So what we don't know the meaning of the universe? It's another one. Who said the meaning of what? All lives all at once? So what we don't know how we're going to die. So what if we don't know what happens after we die? We do know these things. Some questions are better left unanswered rather than giving them fake made up answers just to satisfy the human curiosity. So I say, I know what happens after we die. Our loved ones miss us. And this person says, and that's really all that truly matters, that you have people to miss you after you die. I don't really want them to be missing me. I'd rather them not be suffering. Ex-Muslims just want to be part of a liberal world order, as this is what world is running on. Since Islam puts restrictions on certain things on life, hence they hate it. They have all kind of emotional reasons for being ex-Muslim. Some apostatize for money and asylum, and some out of ignorance and unable to fathom things like problem of evil. So I tell this person, why do you ignore the worst shit? Some leave Islam because they find out that Islam is pure fucking evil, like having the death penalty for leaving Islam and publicly speaking out. This is blasphemy, according to Islam. Some leave Islam because they find out that Islam says stupid ass shit like that demons exist and that you should seek help from exorcists instead of hospitals, etc., etc., etc. Is that the same person? Yes. I have very good experience with atheists and ex-Muslims, and most of their arguments are appeal to emotion, type, and lack of knowledge. Notice he says most. They bring debunked arguments from Christian missionaries' websites to make their case and to look smart to the audience. And on top of that, they don't know science, and they use science in denying God. What can be more laughable than that? This person makes fun of them. I also like creating imaginary straw men and defeating them to feel like I make useful points. That's what this person just did. So I reply, so you ignore what I said. Sounds like you've misunderstood all those ex-Muslims. You did the same thing to them that you're doing to me. Ignore, ignore, ignore. You should not expect to understand someone when you ignore what they say. He says, I'm not ignoring. I'm narrating my experience from the likes of you. Can you explain to me why there is Adelson Family Foundation and Fidelity Charitable Gift Fund Foundation peddle Islamophobia by funding $7 million to hate groups between 2017 and 2019? Why is there an American Freedom Defense Initiative gave $50K to Pamela Geller's org? I can give you a list. Stop this funding and you will see this ex-Muslim will no longer be seen. Money matters. It's all for money and fame. So I'm going to say another thing. I never mentioned the most problem. This is the standard evil thing that Muslims do. They focus on the easy stuff instead of the hard stuff. Why are you looking only at the most? Why not the other category? Because you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to criticize it. Is that all? I think that's all. One more thing. Please if you like this video, please like it. Please also subscribe so you get more of it. It helps the algorithms. It helps people find me. If this helped you, it can help other people, but only if people find this fucking video. Please help.